Hi everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Ecem Merve Seçkin and I am English teacher, one of the private schools in Istanbul. At the same time, I am doing my Educational Technology Master in Bahçeşehir University. The purpose of this presentation, explaining and giving some useful information about technology integration in foreign language education and also social networks. My other aim is giving some unknown information about misuses of technology in classes. In this presentation, I'm hoping to cover 3 points. Firstly, we are going to talk about technology integration in foreign language education and social networks generally. After that, we will look at educational technology and technology integration, pros and cons. Finally, I'll try to explain the usage of social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google, blogs, Instagram, for education, of course. Also, we will go through a summary. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you all had pleasant journey every time you watch. I would like to start by looking at some basic informations which is about social media, educational technology and language education. The purpose of my presentation is to technology integration in foreign language education via social networks. If education is about knowledge and intellectual skills, then educational technology lies at the heart of it all. We have only just begun this transition. Schools will eventually look very different. Technology integration is the use of technology resources, computers and mobile devices like smartphones, tablets, digital cameras, social media platforms, networks, and software applications. If you want to achieve a successful use of technology in our learning process, it should be routine, transparent, accessible, and readily available every time. Supporting the target language learning goals and helping the students effectively reach their lifelong goals. For example, education has been greatly advanced by technology advances of computers. Students are able to learn on global scale without ever leaving their classrooms, like critical and analytical thinking, increased exposure to quality content, solitary and social interaction, teaching and administrative benefits. So that's an overview of technology. Let's think about teacher side. How teachers are going to use technology effective. The amount of the information about technology and computers which teacher possesses in using computers and related technologies may greatly influence his or her effective implementation of technology methods in the classroom. Based on an international study involving children, teachers and computers, concluded that teachers are main gatekeepers in allowing educational innovations to diffuse into classrooms. Therefore, one of the key factors for effecting and integration computers in the school curriculum is educate training of teachers in handling and managing these new tools in their daily practices. Studies have shown that teachers who are trained in technology coursework are more likely to use computers for their personal use and are also more likely to integrate them into their classroom. Now let me move on the student side. In the words of peers, not surprisingly, this study found that students whose teachers had been trained to teach with computers scored higher than students whose teachers lacked such training. Educational technology has demonstrated a significant positive effect on students' achievement and the teaching and learning process. As I mentioned earlier, well-integrated use of technology resources by truly trained teachers makes 21st century learning possible. The difference in the classroom technique and the greater extent of technology use should have positive effect on teachers and students' attitudes. It is generally accepted in the literature that a proper training of teachers should include ability to use computer for personal word processing. Willingness to embrace change is also major. It is important to first define what technology integration actually means. Seamless integration is when we use not only using technology daily, but have access to a variety of tools that match the task at the hand. Provide them in the opportunity to build deeper understanding of content. Let's briefly type of technology integration. Online learning and blended classrooms, project-based activities, game-based learning, learning with the mobile and handheld devices, instructional tools like interactive whiteboards and student response system, web-based projects, student-centered media, collaborative online tools like wikis or Google Docs, using social media to engage students. I would like to continue by looking at the frameworks for technology integration. First picture explains technological, pedagogical, content knowledge. Framework lays on the knowledge that educators need in order to successfully integrate technology in their teaching. And we can see the second picture, substitution, augmentation, modification, redefinition model, created by Dr. Robin, guides the process of reflecting on how we are integrating technology in our classrooms. The ultimate goal of the technology integration is to completely redefine how we teach and learn, and to do things that we never could be before technology was in our hands. Moving on the next section, let's take a look at skills by skills educational technology integration. Firstly, creative writing can be daunting task for students who struggle think of study ideas or who don't love writing process. For kids who have trouble putting on pen to paper, there are a handful of fantastic iPads app that just might inspire them to tell a story. Writing prompts for kids, book writer, writing challenge, write about this, book creator, Adobe Slide, Foldify. The iPad has been widely used for fun and entertainment purposes, but now it is also being increasingly used for learning. People are involving it for more basic reasons. It's a great tool for speaking. Although some parents are hesitant of using iPad to teach their children, rather prefer to stick to traditional uses. The iPad does offer several advantages over books and computers and smartphones. One of the most urgent problems facing distant language education, the problem of delayed exposure to speaking practice in the target language. Real-time technology can help to solve the problem of insufficient exposure to speaking practice. Audio tape, broadcast, videotape, digital movies, digital storytelling, interactive language lab, voicemail. Listening is the key to understanding a better understanding. Unfortunately, it is not given due to words to school curricula. It is a way of communicating and appreciating the world around us. The same kinds of the digital technologies that are responding to listening among literacies of the 21st century are changing the classroom in which literacy is learned. Interactive storybooks reading has long been a cornerstone of the beginning literacy instruction. Teachers model how to read with expression while drawing attention to how to read. Dogcatcher, Pocket Cats, Stitcher Radio, Downcast, Beyond Pod. And lastly, reading separated accuracy, automaticity, the appropriate use of phrasing, expression, smoothness, and pacing to convey meaning. Comprehension size and portability of an iPad makes it easier to transport than a laptop or desktop computer. Perhaps more importantly, if used properly and effectively, it has potential to prepare your child for an increasingly technologically connected world. The App Store offers a variety of apps that can improve their reading skills. Some of these apps are listed below. Read and Write, ABC Pocket Phonics, I Write Words. I would like to give an example. The findings present in a paper comprise a state-compliant statistics which indicate that those students with iPad access in the year leading up to tests at a 6% greater chance to passing the test reading portion that those without an 8% greater chance to passing with the portion. So, how do we do more? With online quizzes, databases, Microsoft OneNote software, online classes, primary sources, student-centered portfolios, Portaware, Word data, technology-infused elective lists, and blogging. Let's continue by looking at 10 fundamental reasons for technology in education. Reason 1. Expansion of time and place. Information technology allows students learning anywhere, anytime, not just in one particular classroom for 40 minutes a day. Reason 2. Depth of understanding. The students have access to same tools over the web. They can reinforce the ideas by experimenting with the simulations themselves, anytime, anywhere. Reason 3. Learning and teaching. Key to this ability to get information they need anytime, anywhere without being the physical presence of a teacher. Reason 4. New media for self-expressions. The old days, students could write notebook. What they wrote was seen only by the teacher. Using modern technology, they make PowerPoint presentation, recording, edit, spoken word, etc. Reason 5. Collaboration. They are doing this already, but it used to be called cheating. Now it can be formalized and taught as a vital skill. Going global. From educational viewpoint, what could be more than understanding other cultures through direct dialogue and collaboration? Reason 7. Individual pacing and sequence. Students are, of course, all different. Information technologies can permit them a break step with an order that suits that students better. Reason 8. Weight. 3 books and 3 binders easily weigh over 2 kg. A laptop or computer weighs about 1 or 2 kg. Provides access to indefinitely more material via its own storage and the internet. Reason 9. Personal productivity. Students need the productivity tools for the same reasons you do. They need to write, read, communicate, organize, and schedule. Lower cost. Through the use of open, free educational tools on the web, the dependence on the expensive paper textbook can be reduced. Moving on the next section, let's take a look at social media with education. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google, and blogs. Social media effects. Social media is highly interesting for most students. Collaboration, communication, and global connections are possible. Some teachers encourage these kind of conversations by making Facebook pages for each class, like us, creating Twitter hashtags, or setting up back channels at blogs during presentations, or searching everything by the help of Google. Not surprisingly, social media also makes communication with the students faster and more effective. When it comes to social media, it's certainly expanding further and faster than many people would have once imagined. Informational technology in the classroom was supposed to bridge digital divides and enhance students' research. Increasingly, educators are acknowledging and welcoming the relative advantages of social media to teach and learn process. Facebook. Today's teens were born into digital world. They are connecting, sharing, and learning through the latest advances in technology. This is certainly a vibrant world full of interactivity and learning, where young people make new things and connecting in ways enrich their lives in the classroom and their communities. That requires critical thinking and suggests that we have reached a point where we must make hard decisions about our investment in the technology and our traditional high standards, because students already have. Blogs. Blog provides students with the opportunity to demonstrate critical thinking skills and employ language in writing principles that demonstrate analytical thought and comprehension. Twitter. There comes the point when we have to acknowledge that one-size-fits-all professional development isn't cutting it. Just as the students, your class needs to be treated as an individual learner, so you do as a teacher. Twitter is much more conventional and effective than going to a teacher conference once a month, Dr. Dager said. Many teachers maintain that adding social media conversation deepen academic dialogue in their classroom. Shy students or students who need more time to pull together their thoughts speaking more often when they participating in online conversation than doing offline. Google. Google made all words information available. According to Bell, Google has become the symbol of the competition of the academic library. He uses the term infobesity to compare the way students now search the information with the modern conception of fast food. Instagram. Explore a moment in history by imitating a vintage photo from the public domain. First, provide students with the photo's historical context, then have them act out that photo or scene like it, and use filters to make the image appear older. Students will have their own reenactment for this history to share. Instagram also allows for video, so feel free to act out scene from history on the short film. The negative effect of social media on society and individuals. By focusing so much our time at physical energy on these less meaningful relationships, our most important connections, he or she fears, will weaken. New technology products have become available that allow social networks to be blocked, but their effectiveness remains spotty. Because machines automate process and the work of 10 people with one computer, companies find they don't need to employ as many people to get the job done. This means when machine breaks or computer crashes, human become almost disabled until the problem is resolved. This kind of dependency on the technology puts people distinct advantage because they become less self-reliant. The positive effect of social media on society and individuals. It's now such a massive part of our lives, whether we embrace or reject the notion that it can not longer be ignored. But are the social networking sites such as Facebook, Twitter, Google, etc. a force for good or evil? It actually educates, it hastens communication, it helps them find their identity. It battles depression, it builds bridges over barriers, it boosts confidence, it strengthens relationships, it encourages community participation. Teach balance. Just because you go and all you can eat place doesn't mean you have to eat everything. The biggest barrier. Some less drastic measures include causes in syllabi warning against using Facebook or no assign internet sites during class. Some professors punish students who violate such rules and reward those who visit library. Still others have stopped using technology in the classroom, forcing students to listen, debate, and otherwise know their interpersonal skills. That brings us to the end of the final section. Now I can just summarize the main points again. Technology has become integrated in the classroom in so many ways that we often don't even think about how we are using it. More and more schools today, technology is recognized as an instructional tool, not a subject of the instruction. Finally, I would like to finish by thanking you all for your attention. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask them. I will do my best to answer.